काफ़ी सारे डायरेक्टर्स जो है आपको अजीबो गरीब रूल्स और रेगुलेशंस बोलते हैं एंड यू नो व्हाट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट राइट यू हैव कास्टिंग couches and I've seen it rampant 3 months ago. I had a guy who called me home. वेलकम टू द लिंसिया रोजारियो शो. और आज के हमारे जो स्पेशल गेस्ट है, ही इज अ कॉमिक माइस्ट्रो. आई एब्सोल्युटली लव्ड हिम फ्रॉम दिल तो पागल है. वीव सीन हिम इन ग्रैंड मस्ती, वीव सीन हिम इन lately in LOL. I absolutely loved the skeleton man that he was roaming around with. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy is a legend and he's the pride of Malayalis. Joining us is Suresh Menon.
Thank you.
Hi Suresh.
Hi Lincia, thank you so much. I'm happy that you remembered the skeleton uncle.
Where is he? Where is the skeleton man?
He was badly injured during the show, so I couldn't carry all the bones and also because that was mangled.
अच्छा.
Mangled बेचारा, he was on heavy diet, that's why मांस नहीं था, सिर्फ bones था.
तो मर गए वो?
नहीं, मतलब he is retired now. No, he can't move around too much because सिर्फ skull बच गया और कुछ नहीं.
But I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, if I could donate some of my mass to him, maybe
Yeah.
maybe I would have had some mass appeal.
You definitely have a mass appeal. You stole my heart when I was so young, when I was like 8, 9 years old, when I...
Thank you for that. Dinosaur.
No, I genuinely mean it. I genuinely mean it. I loved you. Then, I remember I was like 8, 9 years old in the boarding school when I saw you. And from there on, you played so many different characters. And what I absolutely love is your voiceover. I can't explain. I've been a big fan of those voices that you do. It's really, really good. How do you do it? I don't know. But it's been incredible. And it's not easy to do like different voices.
I don't know, it's been easy for me, a lot of voices, but once actually Jose decided, when we were doing a radio show on Red, that time he decided to see how many voices he can do in one show. So that day we decided कि every segment में I'll do different voices जितना हो सके. And अचानक से पता चला कि I did 34 voices that day.
34?
34.
That's
But this was not only as actors' voices, like दूसरों uncle, aunties, and all those voices I put in whatever we could, but not trying to show off or something, but I said time pass ke liye, so we had a good time. So 34 is what he counted. I wish I had more though.
More than 30.
Yeah.
That's a talent, Suresh, I must say. I don't know how you've honed it, but I've always been in awe कि कैसे अलग-अलग आवाज लोग निकाल पाते हैं, क्योंकि voice का technique होना चाहिए. There's a technique behind it, right?
Most of the people will tell you, including John Lever Sahab, will tell you that एक तो आ जाता अंदर से imitate करते करते. For example, Sanjeev Kumar's voice, I picked it up from the song from Andhi, तेरे बिना जिंदगी से कोई शिकवा तो नहीं. So in between it goes into a monologue where Sanjeev Kumar tells, सुनो आरती, ये जो फूलों के बेलें नजर आती है ना, इसे दिन के वक्त देखना चाहिए. दिन के वक्त ये बिल्कुल साफ नजर आती है. दिन के वक्त जब ये बुआ रहे, अब कब आऊँगी मैं दिन में शीशे. एंड देन ही से ये जो चांद है ना, इसको देखना, ये सिर्फ रात में निकलता है. एंड सो हियरिंग दोज वॉइसेस समटाइम्स इट latches on to you. My best imitation was Ishant Sharma. One day I think he was playing for Delhi Daredevils IPL, and then he was man of the match, so there was an interview happening with him, and I caught his voice within like 3 seconds. Oh. So it just comes to you, at times, sorry, it just comes to you sometimes, so he interviewing him, how do you feel, Ishan? And he went on saying,
well, I think Boldwell put the ball in the right places, and very happy we won the man of match. Very happy boys played well.
So the voices are funny at times.
Absolutely.
And there was an uncle in my building, Mr. Lakshmanan, who was always very loud, and he had a very booming voice. Everybody is coming today. We are having mathematical problems over here. He used to laugh like that. So
You know, I want to do this. How did you do it?
see, you should see, immediately you feel nice also in that. See,
Yeah.
all your tension has gone out. So these are real people. And sometimes when those days when I was working, used to travel by trains, and the people come and up and ask, ये अंधेरी में जाते, ये compartment जाएगा, पिछले वाला नहीं जाएगा.
Yeah.
Sick jokes people used to crack, and then you. The best time pass you can do in a train is actually watch people and pick up nuances.
Yeah.
Not that I ever set out to be an actor those days, but it was in me. I could imitate my relatives. I could imitate aunties in the building. Actors and all came much later. But normal people were the ones whom I imitated a lot. Like my classic thing is, there's a restaurant called Blue Park in Seven Bungalows, and one day I called up and wanted to order. Phone किया था मैंने, और मैंने बोला खाने में क्या है? तो he said पूरी भाजी रोटी मसाला डोसा पाव भाजी पातल भाजी
पातल भाजी
पातल भाजी
पातल भाजी
पातल भाजी सब क्या है, सब कुछ है इसमें. देन ही सेड चीज पीस मसाला. तो ऐसे एक चीज पीस मसाला और रोटी भेजना. देन ही सेड पार्सल. बोला नहीं, फोन पे भेज सकता तो भेज. फोन क्या, तो पार्सल ही होगा ना. So you pick up these छोटू things and sort of weave it around together. Now those days it was only दोस्तों के आपस में बैठ के बात करते थे and chat and talk and have fun. See, if you remember those days when we were growing up, like when you were growing up, I was already grown.
Yeah.
But when we were growing up, Johnny Lever had released this cassette. And not many people know that. अपने ज़माने के लोगों को याद है. But you know, none of you kids will know that. But there he had made I think technically that's the first podcast. In the sense it was audio. And the audio was mimicry. And the mimicry was, for example, there's a big tower over there where all actors are staying. And then Asrani Saab's voice, building में आग लगी है. So he did the whole thing where they are calling
the story, the entire storytelling.
It was a story. It was just a fiction story, but so much of fun. Asit Sen saying, building में आग लगी है, भागो, building में आग लगी है, you know, and different actors giving their point of view. Then he had a set where he did all the actors playing kabaddi with how do I call them, with transgenders.
Oh, nice.
Today you have to be correct. So you know, so there was this I remember kabaddi 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 kabaddi. And Rajkumar is there. Rajkumar Saab is saying, जाने इन लोगों के साथ कबड्डी खेलना मेरे शान के खिलाफ है. And Ruxana says, आज आ रहा है तू तो दुनिया के खिलाफ है. So these things made us. This was entertainment for us. No OTT platforms those days. टीवी मुश्किल से रिलेटिव्स के घर पे या नेबर के घर पे जाके देखना पड़ता था. एंड इफ नेबर अंकल सो रहा है उस वक्त, टेस्ट मैचेस यूज्ड टू हैपन द होल डे. मतलब लंच टाइम का पूरा लंच टाइम के बाद वाला 2 घंटा हम लोग मिस कर जाते थे. सो लॉट ऑफ ट्रेजेडी इन लाइफ, बट these things were ones that kept us entertained.
For the first time we met was on this very special flight. So he's there, Cyrus Saukar is there, and we have Gaur Gopal Das ji all together, and I'm like connecting with you, then I'm connecting with Cyrus, then I'm connected with Gaur ji. It was a very special flight.
Yeah, actually it was, and we were flying to, I think, Calcutta or somewhere, no?
Yeah, Kolkata. Yeah.
Because that was for a show where
you all were doing it together?
Sahu and me were doing something together. I had a stand-up bit, and Sahu was doing it with Danish Seth and Saad Khan that time, and it was in Calcutta. And I remember only one thing on that flight is Cyrus Saukar is around 6 feet, I think he's almost 7.
Yeah.
And then he was sitting next to me. I still can't believe how he curled up with his legs on top of the chair and he went to sleep throughout the flight. And he said, Menon, it's okay if I sleep. I said, of course it's okay. Then he said, will you wake me up? And I said, okay. So I thought, oh, I said, late ke so jayega wahan pe. But after some time, his legs have come up and he's gone, cuddled up like a child, and he's gone to sleep with a blanket.
Yeah.
That is something. I'm sure he practices yoga without us knowing. You know, so.
And Jose and you are also very, very close. I love your ghost stories. मतलब मुझे लगता है वो पूरा जो concept आप लोग ने create किया है, whacked out है, mad है, it's insane. It kept us glued. So how did that come about?
See, Jose and me go back a long way. So with the radio days for me, I think I did radio specifically because Jose was there. Jose is a guy who's got a very good acumen for sound. और उसका रेडियो का नॉलेज बहुत ही ज़बरदस्त आज भी है. एंड आई एम रियली सरप्राइज कि कोई भी रेडियो स्टेशन नाउ व्हेन दे आर ट्राइंग टू रीइन्वेंट द व्हील, दे शुड बी गेटिंग बैक Jose Cuervo somehow into the mix because he knows his stuff. Today if I'm there on any of these social media platforms, it's only because of Jose. He's an advisor, he's a friend and he knows it. And he's such a casual guy that बहुत कम लोग ऐसे मिलते हैं कि जिनको मिलो और 6 साल के बाद मिलो तो we catch up at the same point. So he's one of them. So there's no ego clashes, no personality clashes with him. A. Be a good human being. C. He has got a brain that is always working for content. So COVID के time ने बोला we should do something on social media. So I said what यार, you know, I'm bored. 2-3 मैंने try किया था, wig पहन के became Malayali and I put some powder on my face and I said उस दिन मैं नार्कोस देखा, सब लोग बोले नार्कोस वो पूता ऐसे कुछ बोल रहा है. पूता का मालूम नहीं, कुत्ता का स्पेलिंग कैसे होता है, पूता करके ऐसे बोला पी समथिंग लाइक दैट. और पूरा पाउडर लाया, मैंने पाउडर लाया, मेरे को कुछ नहीं हुआ. You know, I was doing that, but I felt very bad and very boring, you know. So he said that let's do live streaming and let's start chatting to people. So we started off a love advice session, which was what we used to do on radio. So we had a lot of people calling us and talking to us about their love problems. So I distinctly remember why we stopped and went to go streams is because the lady called up from Australia. Somewhere in middle of the night, obviously Australia meant 9:30 p.m. in India, and she said, you know, I'm stuck here because of COVID. It's been some time. I was married, but me and my husband fought, so I left the house and I went. I said, where are you staying? Oh, now I'm staying with my best friend's house. He and his wife were very welcoming, so I'm staying there. So he said, very good, you're safe now. COVID se bach ke. I said, yeah, but now there is another problem. I said, what? Me and my friend, I don't know, we realized that we are in love with each other. So,
हस्बैंड का क्या हो गया?
हस्बैंड को छोड़ दिया, जहाँ पे गया she fell in love again. Now you are not judging anyone, it can happen and people should fall in love all the time. So बिचारी, she said the whole problem and all and taking names and all, and we are trying to नाम मत लेना, you know, but she took all the names and all this and show तो live चला गया. Next day we got a big message from her requesting us to cut that portion off, which we did. But then, you know, Jose had to sort of remove the whole live feed from his channel and re-edit and put it back over there. And this kept on happening many a time where people, sometimes they need to speak, so they spoke, but then they said, nahi baat karna chahiye tha, which is fair enough, you know, when especially it's matters of the heart, you have to be careful. So we decided it's a bit too risky, you know, so we can't make fun of them. And when people have got serious problems and they could get into some sort of issues later on, so we decided to stop it completely and we went to ghost stories. Now ghost stories, it started off as fun, but nowadays after hearing about we are nearing 100 episodes of ghost stories and real life experiences of people, my goodness God, it's so crazy and so crazily scary. जब आप रूम में अकेले रहते हो तो आपको एक कहानी याद आती है कि किसी ने कहा था कि मैं ट्रैवल कर रहा था और मैं फ्लाइट पर्सन था और मैं एक रूम में चला गया था, कमरे में दरवाज़ा खोलते ही मुझे लगा कुछ प्रेजेंस है वहाँ पे. तब ये चल रहा है, हमने सुना है कहानी और हम जा रहे हैं शो करने के लिए, रूम का दरवाज़ा खुलता है. दैट स्टोरी somehow decides to come back in your mind, and then you see shadows, then you feel somebody has moved by, then you feel something has come by, you know, like this, and there's no machar or anything like that. यहाँ पे कुछ है. You know? So it used to be. It
so
is
it's right behind you.
I know, but hi, how
right
are you?
Behind you.
No, I know them. Those people I know.
Your friends.
I see dead people. You know. So, but so those things started getting scarier and scarier. But what I feel is when people talk about these experiences, there are a lot of I think many of us in this room itself would have experienced something from the other side. I have experienced a lot of these things while growing up years and all this stuff. I used to walk in my sleep. I still do get dreams of people who have passed. You know, I have dreams of having conversations with them. You know, there are a lot of multiple things to add to that. But you know what is real and what's unreal, you will never know. But it is there. And when you hear these stories, you know there is something to this world which is beyond us human beings, and with this great technology and all, there is something beyond that. So I think deep inside you create a lot more respect for the ultimate power to be that is there around, you know. So yeah, Of course, then we also do some really silly advice. The last episode में I said कि जब आप कमोड में बैठते हो, excuse my potty jokes, but I said कमोड में बैठ के उठते हो and थोड़ी देर का मतलब open the commode. Don't put your hand or face inside over there, but you'll feel that area is warm. So I told people to try that. It's your energy that is there. So that energy has spread over there, and then you got up from that place. So even if you get up from here, your seat will be warm. You know, so that is the energy that is spread. Now imagine somebody is alive, and tomorrow the person is lying dead in front of you. So you know that body was warm, and now it's become very cold. So the energy dispenses. So it's all about energies, and these energies take forms. They can speak. They can communicate. God only knows. Perhaps I will know it sooner than many of you all over here. So because I am थोड़ा नज़दीक पहुँच रहा हूँ आजकल यमराज का सीन दिख रहा है बेटा आ जा.
But you know, Suresh, when I was small, you know what I used to think? It was not like a horror kind of a moment, but I always used to dread कि जब whenever I go for my potty, you know, ऐसा snake आएगा और ढस लेगा. I don't know why I had that even now. Like I will do a flush and I'll be like, "Saap, why I'm this?" कि सांप सीधा अंदर चला जाएगा. I don't know why I feel that all the time.
और हम लोग जोक मारते थे कि कोई you know compared to Western loose Indian रूम में एक हाथ आएगा वाला सांप बराबर से साफ हो गया ना. आप तो दूसरा लेवल में चला गया.
I still go through this and I'm like.
So see, it is something to do with some experiences what you had in your childhood, or maybe even watching a film which created an impact on your mind, and that is what comes out in fears. So our mind is our biggest theater, you know. So mind has got all these Dolby digital में भी आता है sounds, you know. So it's very scary. So this bug has to be tamed. That's the only thing. But yeah,
एक बार डस्ट ही ले देते तो हो जाएगा ना.
अगर उसने डस्ट दिया तो उसको 5 करके वापस दे देना डस्ट.
So the art of storytelling, I still feel has a long way to go. Now people have understood its relevance in the impact it creates on one's message. तो मुझे ये लगता है कि comedians जो है storytelling में बहुत ही बेहतरीन है. How can one be a good storyteller?
I think you tell the story from your heart. You know, it's what you experienced in life, and if you are, it's a true story that you're saying, or it's something that's happened with you, and you say it, it will always come out with your heart. So similarly, when you write a fiction piece, I think writers and directors, if they write something, the writers especially, they are able to narrate it very well because they have lived that character. Could be a fiction piece, but a bit of them will always be there in the story. So when you're writing, no, something will be there. So that's why they say that whatever you feel, now sometimes just write down. Now, for example, this is a great thing. If you look at search for this incident, there have been instances where actually a snake has come through the commode, and somewhere in Thailand. But that was आपने बदला लिया रहेगा because वो बोला कल रात को लोग मेरे पिताजी को खा लिया. तो वो लोग ने बदला लिया रहेगा, वो अलग बात है. So but if you start writing something, you know, you will realize that you've written something and you can make a story around it, and then when you narrate it becomes from very naturally to you.
Yeah, so that's how you improve your storytelling, by speaking from the heart.
Yeah,
that's key.
Yeah, that's the key.
I understand when you do these different characters, right, as an actor, आपका process क्या है to get under the skin of that character?
I think once long time back, Mr. Bachchan, अब तो उन्होंने और serious बना दिया. He had put out a thing saying that people should not imitate me. Even Rajnikant sir did that. So I said कि हम ये जो talent है वो it's a cultural thing. It's called Behrupiyas. You know, olden ज़माने में the king के courts में there used to be Behrupiyas used to entertain the kings by pretending to be the minister. Sometimes the king himself, if the king was sporting enough, सर चला गया, no. But when I get into, say for example, Mr. Bachchan's persona, my makeup man puts the wig, he puts on the beard, he's in specs and the jacket, you know, I'm not as tall as Mr. Bachchan, but automatically for that moment I feel that I've become Mr. Bachchan, you know. And there's, you know, you don't have that power, but you feel that power coming in. And then when you said, हाँ तो बताइए आज आप क्या करके आई यहाँ पर, you know, so immediately that thing comes in your face, eyes, your voice doesn't have to be ditto same to same, but the mannerisms and just getting into that look made me so happy. Sachin Tendulkar was always a joy when I used to get into that get-up.
Have you met Sachin?
Yes, I did meet him.
And when you met him and did his mimicry, what was his first reaction?
So I didn't imitate him at all like any other cricket fan. I think my jaw was open and I could just stare at him, and I didn't have many words coming out that day because it was a fanboy moment for him. For me, Sachin Tendulkar has been not only a cricketer but a great inspiration. He's much younger than me, so I told him, I will call you Sachin because I'm older than you. But I want to tell you, Sachin, that you and me have got one chotu thing in common. Forget the mimicry part and all. The chotu thing in common is that both our moms were working in LIC. You know, so that sort of there's a connect over there, you know. But for me, Sachin has been is one of the greatest cricketers that the world has produced, and I will always be his fan. Let people say the others will come and break his records. I don't see anyone doing that for a long time. Because I have not seen him go and start abusing opponents unnecessarily. I have seen him play the game, and if he's gotten riled also, he's given it back
through his
batting, through his work. So it becomes a great inspiration for you, even as an actor, to not give up. You know, the earlier days when test matches, thankfully it's still superb. If you take life as a test match and you say that this is the innings of your life that you're going to play, which you're actually playing, and you decide to stay on the wicket for a long time, you'll see that you achieved much more. So always use cricket terminology to help me overcome a lot of bad things in life.
Absolutely. There is one more thing common between Sachin, Suresh and Lincia. One thing that's common.
Please tell us.
I also used to work in LIC.
Hey Ayla, it's a great Jeevan Anand.
Zindagi ke saath bhi, zindagi ke baad bhi.
Arey wow.
So there's a connection, right?
See, there you go. Wow, this is like really cool.
Yeah, I actually started my career selling insurance policies and I was great at sales. सबको मतलब आज भी मैं सबको LIC बेच के आ सकती हूँ. I think we should be the brand ambassador for LIC.
Yeah, I know. That's SNA, not this, I think. So that's so good to know, because I used to be a salesman before I joined this line, and that's some sort of skills that you always possess in you to you are a product now and you're able to market yourself well. So that's so important. And also sales people by nature, they've got a good way of talking. The gift of the gab has to be there to be a selling person, and insurance is the hardest thing to sell for sure. I used to sell consumer electronics and home appliances with Crompton when I was before I joined the line.
So I feel the art of selling, मतलब मुझे लगता है कि सबको बेचना आना चाहिए. चाहे वो एक एक्टर हो, चाहे वो डॉक्टर हो, डेंटिस्ट हो, मेकअप आर्टिस्ट हो, जो भी हो, सबको बेचना आना चाहिए. And it's not everybody is able to do that, Suresh. Right? How have you worked on that aspect? Or you still work in progress?
It's still work in progress. With our line, you're here today, tomorrow gone. The public memory is very short, and rightfully so, because they can't invest time in character artists and comedians a lot as much as they would invest time in a hero. Hero is the one that drives the film. The heroine is one that drives the film. So today, of course, hero and heroine both together are the heroes of the film. But the character artists and all that stuff, they do leave behind memories, but you need to keep on upping your game. You need to keep on doing fresher things, newer things. You need to diversify, because the shelf life of character artists and comedians are much more shorter than the heroes and heroines in the industry.
You feel that? Like with you, Atul Khatri doing so well?
Yeah, that's thankfully because we are making fun of ourselves only nowadays. See, now stand-up has given a new lease of life to everyone. But earlier, if you ask me, there was only a limited point till which the actors could survive, and then it becomes a struggle all over again. Yes, one or two roles will come by your way. But today, with the world opening up to so much of content being created, it's opening up and there are a lot more opportunities than before for sure. But it's a scary place,
It is, because every time you're finding work, right, new work, and that brings me to my next question because I know you also started your journey as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
तो content company है, production में deal करता है, तो was it like a calculated move?
You could say that because at that stage in 2011 when internet was just catching up in our country, I tied up with a few of the stalwarts of the industry and we decided to, we wanted to make a 24 hours comedy television channel, but that time coming out of the depression of 2008 it was a little bit too difficult. so at that time we decided to go in for a YouTube channel and we created one, but that time YouTube mein what is happening today wasn't there. It was still the nascent stages. You were one of the first movers. So things went wrong, it went the other side, then everyone sort of dispersed. So then I was there alone and they said that we can't shut the company. It's easy to start a company in our country, but to shut it, there are a lot of things. Firstly, you have to clean up all the debts and all that you accumulated throughout the years. You have to finish that off and then perhaps shut it. So it's a process. So they said, let's keep it running. So then I decided to go into content for brands. So I called my wife and said, please join and help me out with this. So she said, why? Because you don't have to pay me salary. I said, that too. Apart from that, it's also because of the brains. She used to work with Prahlad Kakkar and then
my God, I love that man.
Yes.
He's the most, his brain is crazy.
Yes, he's absolutely
In fact, I should
crazy.
call him for this show.
You must call him. You must call him. Prahlad, she worked under Prahlad and that sort of mind to make ads was very essential and a lot of brands were coming. We started doing a lot of videos for Nykaa, for Big Basket, for JLL, and we are pretty successful and we are doing very well till somebody in China decided to have some sort of bat or something for breakfast and we all had that
Bat
lockdown.
for breakfast?
चमगादड़ खाया ऐसे ही बोल रहे ना, that was the biggest excuse ना, ये चमगादड़ खाया तो कोविड आ गया क्या हुआ किसी को पता नहीं है, but that's a joke. And then things went really bad, haywire, and yeah, but it's good to have your own company. It's good to be an entrepreneur because it's your dream. Then how much of a hard work you put in, you can maximize that back into the company. And I feel everyone should get a chance to do that because at the same time when you start a company, if you grow well, then you're also creating employment opportunities for others. So it's very important that the government backs, especially in media. I think they should start backing. अगर आप मुझे 50 करोड़ दे सकते हो, मैं 2 फिल्म बना के आप सुपर फिल्म सुपर हिट प्लीज हेल्प बोल दिया अगर सुन रहे हैं तो प्लीज सर.
बहुत बार ऐसे हुआ है सुरेश कि मैंने देखे हैं कि काफ़ी सारे डायरेक्टर्स जो है आपको अजीबो गरीब रूल्स और रेगुलेशंस बोलते हैं एंड यू नो व्हाट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट राइट. यू हैव कास्टिंग काउचेस एंड आई हैव सीन इट रैम्पेंट 3 months ago. I had a guy who called me home, not home, his office space, and I had एक बीट बॉक्सर है दिव्यांश जो इस पॉडकास्ट पे भी आए थे, उन्होंने मुझे वहाँ पर छोड़ा एंड देन आई वेंट, आई स्टार्टेड टॉकिंग टू हिम एंड ही इज़ लाइक ठीक है मूवी सब ठीक है लेकिन हम कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में ये भी लिखेंगे कि आपको डायरेक्टर के साथ एक कनेक्शन बनाना है. तो मैंने कहा कि क्या कनेक्शन बनाना है, तो
वो पूछ रहे थे मैंने वोडाफोन का
कनेक्शन क्या बनाना है. आई कुडंट फैथम, मतलब क्या है ये कनेक्शन, राइट. एंड आई लिटरली टोल्ड हिम हाउ इज इट दैट कि मैं how am I in bed is going to make me a better actor. I literally asked him that, right, Suresh, because I was baffled. और उन्होंने बोला देखो आप है ना इतनी भी आप इतने ऑनेस्ट मत बनो, डोंट बी सो ऑनेस्ट. आप ऐसे बोलो कि आप करेंगे फिर मत कीजिए. He said that to me and I'm like, listen, this guy I can't deal with this guy. And I walked out from there and this friend of mine, he was at home and I was chatting with him and he was also like zapped. But why I'm saying this is क्योंकि सुरेश some other girl would have probably taken that project up. ये प्रोजेक्ट वो ले लेते बिल्कुल क्योंकि कुछ दूसरा है ही नहीं. लेकिन अगर हम entrepreneurs हैं तो फिर there is a power of saying no. No, I won't do this. I don't need this shit.
Yes.
Right? You can take a flying F to Mars. I'm going to do lesser projects and that's okay with me. And that is why I feel every woman, every man, आर्टिस्ट तो हो आप करो लेकिन उसके अलावा द पावर ऑफ सेइंग नो शुड बी देयर.
एब्सोल्युटली. सी दैट if you practice saying no, you get power automatically. And these unfortunately these things do happen. There's no denying or even turning your face the other way and saying it's cool to do that. It's not. But today's women are much more empowered. They're powerful, and you should know where to kick. That's the main thing.
Yeah, very. Yeah, I think that is why.
The knee also should be so. Okay. Oops. So sorry, uncle. Oh, there's nothing. Okay. So yeah. So that's one of the reasons. It's not only it's actors per se who go through that. You would have faced something like this. I would face something different.
What are the kind of challenges मतलब आपको deal करना पड़ता है?
Similar challenges initial stages में मैंने भी face किया.
Seriously?
I think it's there without.
I deal with men also.
Yeah, of course, but it's and sadly you can't take names. Correct. There are no bigger names that I've ever been messed around with. But when starting of the career, there are a lot of people who came up and the side and they'll tell you कि if you adjust करोगे, those time it was called adjustment. Now it's connection. That's a new one.
Yeah, connection.
Adjust करोगे तो आपका काम हो जाएगा. That time I said, why wouldn't I adjust with a female producer? Why with a male producer? मेरा adjustment वहाँ पे ठीक हो जाता है. So then that person had told me on my face that you'll never make it in the industry. So I said it's my luck, and if I don't make it in the industry, I'll go back to sales. I was confident of going back to something which I was pretty good at. So similarly, when as years go by, you need to start something of your own. So I hope this is going to be the year when I really make a lot of noise with One Network Entertainment.
You are, I know it.
And
I know it.
And make it count. It makes a lot of difference. Yes, yeah, but these things do exist in one way or the other. इंडस्ट्री में ज़्यादा लाइमलाइट में दिखते हैं ये सारी चीज़ें because it's out there, but in corporate world also these things do exist, and it's on us men to be more humble, understand a woman better, and not do these things. Sometimes we as men we feel कि गलती हो गया, दारू पिया and all that stuff, but there you can still control even after daru. I don't say I'm a saint, but I always tell myself that today you have to be extra cautious, not because you're worried ki you will get caught. That's not the caution that you should have. You should have that ki caution should be that let us have more respect for women in a workplace or even in a party place, and
Absolutely.
let's see, flirting is a fair game. But with कौन सी फिल्म में थी वो जो आपने बोला no means no. Pink. That should be etched in your mind. No means no. Stay away.
I think the conditioning has to change और बहुत time लगेगा वो change करने के लिए.
I think it's not only an issue with India. We are thinking हमारे देश में बाहर कम नहीं है. When we go to Hollywood, we talk about the stories will never come out, but all these things of parties and sort of meet and greet and all, it's a fair game. But I feel give equal opportunities. Then why judge women?
Yeah, same here.
That's
same
the way
here.
it should be. So it's easier to pick on women. It used to be rather. Now it's become, as I said, the empowerment part, the hashtag Me Too, all these things have changed a lot of equations, thankfully, and it's becoming a better place for sure.
Absolutely, we've definitely made progress.
All of us, all we men need to change even more. That's all I keep on saying.
लेकिन ये इंडस्ट्री में है ऐसा कि दिखाने के दांत और क्या कहावत है, हाथी के दिखाने के दांत और खेलने के दांत, खाने के दांत, खेलने के दांत, it came act, खेलने के दांत. So अलग होते हैं, right? And I truly believe because people will showcase to you कि हाँ हम दोस्त हैं लेकिन पीठ पीछे कुछ अलग होते हैं, और मैंने ये मेरे 10 साल के करियर में देखा है. आपने भी देखा होगा.
मैंने इसके ऊपर स्टडी भी किया है. आई फील कि एवरी ह्यूमन इज ड्रिवन बाय दिस overbearing thought of sex. Every human being, men more, women lesser to a large extent because they're much better controlled in their needs, but men more. I remember talking to a German friend of mine so many years back, and she was asking me that why do you Indians take sex so seriously and you need to be married to have sex? This is a long time back, that had been obviously. And I said, I don't know, everyone basically they see a woman, they are thinking about sex more often than not, let me tell you. So he says, you're right, but why is it given so much of importance? I said, how do you all look at it? I was very curious. So she said that human beings take a dump, they have to urinate. Sex is the same thing, isn't it? I said, wow. Next time I should ask a girl, hey, साथ में गू करे क्या? So that was something which made me laugh, but also made me think, कि, यार, it is a body का need and you need to do that at times, you know. But earlier time ऐसा था ही ना. So that was a club and we used to drag the woman along. But now today the club is there and woman can drag a man along. So change हो रही चीजें. So that is life, yeah. So as long as you can be a better person with other human beings, try your level best.
Yeah.
You know? You will be tempted. You will be tempted to say something more and transgress that line. Try and control, bro. You know, that's it.
सुरेश, जब भी आप अपने लाइंस बनाते हैं, कंटेंट के लिए लिखने बैठते हैं, आपका एक आइडिया होता है कि ऐसे होने वाला है, लेकिन जब आप स्टेज पे जाते हैं, it's completely different. People have taken offense. How do you manage this kind of feedback or criticism?
See, I fortunately always had an SNP inside me. ना रिलीजन का कुछ बात करूँ, ना किसके बारे में, अपना पॉलिटिशियंस के बारे में कुछ बात नहीं करो. स्टेज के ऊपर जाओ, ज़्यादा जोक्स अपने पर रखो. उसके बावजूद एक बार मैं अपनी वाइफ के बारे में जोक्स मार रहा था. पीपल आर एंजॉयिंग. आफ्टर द शो आई वेंट डाउन. दिस वन ओल्डिश गाय केम एंड टोल्ड मी, देखिए आप जवान लोग हैं और ये ऐसे अपनी बीवी के बारे में जोक मारना अच्छी बात नहीं है, घर की लक्ष्मी होती है. तो बोले सर जोक है, मैं अपनी बीवी से बहुत डरता हूँ, आपने वो भी कहा मुझे बहुत बुरा लगा, ऐसे जोक्स नहीं मारते हैं. बिटिया के बारे में मैं उनको जानता तक नहीं हूँ, लेकिन ऐसे नहीं करना चाहिए. ये मुझे झाड़ रहा है यार. तो स्लोली दोस ऑर्गेनाइजर्स केम पुल मी अवे फ्रॉम द इवेंट. नाउ द शो वाज इन बैंकॉक. नेक्स्ट डे आई वाज आउट शॉपिंग फॉर माय वाइफ. And Bangkok is a lovely place. I love it. And I saw this uncle coming out of the massage bar. I wanted to ask him, "Hey uncle, मजा तो आया होगा? I hope things are ending very happily for you." Hey.
Same uncle.
Same uncle.
अरे वाह.
तो
People are so
that's
weird,
it.
yeah.
It's very weird.
Such double standards, yeah.
It's not double standards. It's easy to give ज्ञान बांटना easy होता है, but to follow it, it's a little bit difficult. You know, follow करने का टाइम इस उम्र में तो और क्या है, you know. So that way. So I have not faced any flack from these things so far in my career. Imitation में, yeah, there was a lot of vivad that had happened, that should RJs imitate actors and all that stuff. Should we imitate politicians? But I always said that, you know, if you keep it decent and not go beyond their family and all that stuff, you know, then it's fine. So if I'm playing Mr. Mr. Bachchan won't be Mr. Bachchan in his personal life. It will be Mr. Bachchan of KBC or Vijay Dinanath Chauhan. That is fine. You're imitating the character, not the actor per se. But some of them went beyond that and started imitating them personally, so they started taking offense.
So you have this rule कि politics no, religion no, and self-demeaning humor is something that
works. And of course crowd work, you got a lot of crowd work where they really enjoy when you talk to them and make them do stuff which they enjoy. So I try as much as possible to make sure people enjoy themselves, rather than, you know, one side is enjoying, the other side is not enjoying. So I try to bring everything together. It takes time, and that explains why I don't get too many shows. I try to be as non-controversial as possible. किसको लेना है controversy life में यार? इतना कुछ देख लिया, you know. So many things are there in my life which are not coming. उसके बीच में just because I want to say something, create controversy, no chance. I don't want to do that.
You're a peace-loving man.
I am, you know, because what's the harm in just being good to each other first, you know? So if you simple rules in life is, like I tell my driver, even when I was driving, if I come across somebody trying to cross the road, I stop, I slow down my vehicle, and that person crossing the road more often than not will give a thumbs up. Older person will say, Mautha, thank you to you, your day is made.
Yeah.
No, these small things if you can do in life without spending money and saying that I donate so much for these people and all that, try and be kind to people. It is difficult. Try and be kind to your own family first, and you can practice it outside. So keep on practicing. It is tough. You will get angry. You will lose it. You will fire somebody. But then if you have that thought, कि चलो shit, I should have said that. Call that person बिंदास सबके सामने sorry यार. क्या जाता है, कुछ नहीं. एक sorry बोलना. Keep that peace within you. Then you will find peace inside you. So it's a practice. It will take some time.
A lot of time. to get peaceful. I'm still work in progress.
Don't worry, it will come. You'll reach there. And ultimately, you're just one little thing lying over there, and people are saying, hey, body go side mein hata. Like I crack jokes on that also. You know, my wife is so busy. If I die, she'll be saying, अरे देखो भैया जाने के बाद ना यहाँ पूरा सफाई कर देना, हम लोगों को वो टेबल वापस दे रखना है. You know, you should have, ultimately that is the only truth. You know, you're born, you know you're going to die. That's all. उसके बीच में जो होता है, it's on you to
how you maneuver it.
Yeah. You will have good days, you will have bad days, you will be a bad person, you will be a good person, you will be an average person, you will be a silent person, you will be donning so many multiple things without imitating anyone, but you yourself will go through these chotu journeys in life. As much as possible, try and enjoy. I'm saying even if you get to 55% of enjoyment, your life is made.
I'm enjoying. Right now I'm enjoying. 55% से ज़्यादा 90%.
बाकी 45% हम लोग सोते रहते हैं.
You played so many characters, different characters, but who is the real Suresh Menon? मतलब आपका personality जो है, अगर 3 शब्दों में बोलना है तो क्या है?
I think I'm that simple South Indian Malayali boy from 7 bungalows, and nothing has changed in me beyond that. Things that I learned, picked up from my childhood, it's still ingrained in me. It is there. I'm still that one guy who, when my brothers went out, I used to make a house, that castle with cards, you know, niche is a triangle. I used to sit on my own and keep on doing it. I always used to be a dreamer. I think I'm still a dreamer. And that simple Malayali dreamer, that's how I'll call myself.
Simple. I think do one Malayali accent.
ऐसा बोलेगा तो उधर हम लोग बचपन से ऐसा बराबर से हम लोग पढ़ाई करनी है. तो मेरा नेबर में सब लोग सीए, चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, डॉक्टर, और मैं कुछ नहीं. फिल्म में आने के बाद मैं इंजीनियर, डॉक्टर, सीए सब बन गया बस. So Malayali have got this thing. समझ ये कुछ नहीं. So when I go to Kerala, when mom and dad were there, once I went for a wedding and I just started my career, and I went there for a wedding, so a lot of people came. Congratulations, we saw this movie of yours. And one old uncle came, your son is in, what is the elder son doing? So dad said he's working in the midday. Nice. Second son is the actor, no? Acting something he's doing, no? Something, Supandi, you said, no? That, actor. So then they both of them look at me and they say, there's no film, there's film and all. I don't see film. Where do you work? Uncle, मेरा काम यही है. You know, so he's asked me, where do you work? So you're always rooted to the ground. क्योंकि actor बनो कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. काम क्या कर रहा है भाई साहब वो बताइए. So that simplicity, I think, is the essence of anything that you do in life. So if you keep it simple, I think things will become much easier. I always say, if you think long, it is wrong.
If you think long, it is wrong.
You keep on thinking, gadbada that means. Keep it short. And the first thing for actors, especially, first instinctively what comes out, that is the best thing.
One more line.
Please
Very bad line.
Please say.
Long is good. We love long. Why is he saying long is wrong?
Oh yeah.
He doesn't understand things.
Maybe it's the age.
Yeah, so I'm still thinking of the long. I should
yeah, man, I didn't think about next. I should be very careful when I use that. Long is wrong. Hard is better. Okay, let's not go there.
For some other day, I think we'll have to have another podcast altogether.
Absolutely.
Your voice is a stunner. I love how you can imitate so many people and how you're so good at it. अगर हमको ऑडियंस मेंबर्स को जो आपको बहुत चाहते हैं उनको अपने वॉइस पे काम करना है तो किस तरीके से करें?
I'll tell you, keep it simple. You know, we always think ऐसा करना है वैसा करना है. It comes to you naturally. Johnny Lever साहब told me a very good thing. He said voice आने से पहले ना मैं उनका walking style imitate करता था. And then he introduced me to a fighter during shooting of Hera Fairy. And that fighter was actually a dupe for Shatru Saab and all that stuff. And his name was, I think, Suresh Shetty, I think. So he said, Suresh, batao na kaisa. And he walked like Shatru Saab. And you know that. Then he's Amitabh Bachchan. He walked like Amitabh Bachchan, you know. And so good it was. Like you could see now we never catch the dupes, you know, because they were so good in doing what they did. So that was also a form of imitation without the voice. But voice is a special quality. You need a special sound box for that. Not everyone can do it because it's a multi sound box. You know, it's like, for example, definitely I can say that it is difficult to do it. But dude, come on, यार आवाज तो कोई भी निकाल सकता है, you know. ऐसी बात नहीं है. माँ कसम अगर मैं बात करता रहूँगा आपके साथ, याद रखना, it's a long and short of it. So it keeps on coming, and it's a switch that is there that can help you get those voices easily. And yeah, as I said, I protest when people say mimicry should be stopped. Mimicry is an art form. It is.
Why should it be stopped?
Like,
why are they saying this?
They are saying it because everything now, anything you say negative is a controversy. It's more news on you, so a lot of people are talking about you. It's the engagement part of social media nowadays. How do you get engagement coming up by controversial statements? So that's anyway. So I think, don't think too much. If you want to mimic, then you can actually hear voices and start learning chote nuances. Like I got Arnab Goswami's voice also easily, because you're watching that continuously, and sometimes that voice stays in your mind and it comes out. You know, so recently on the Ghost Streams, Jose out of the blue suddenly started saying, and I just went over there one morning, Morgan Freeman. So now I do that voice and say Morgan Freeman. You know, so you just have to start talking like them, and when you start talking like them, you feel that you're right there with them. And it was that day when I saw her in a yellow dress, and then she went away. It's nothing, but you know, you get that voice over there and you're narrating something, you get it. But if you start having fun with it, अपने आप से मजा आ जाएगा, बिंदास आ जाएगा.
Wow.
Start imitating normal people first. That is the challenge.
So was there a coach in your life? कोई ऐसा influence आपके ज़िंदगी में कि आपने comedy शुरू किया और acting शुरू किया?
नहीं, मैं काम कर रहा था. 20th Century Finance में I was doing my ICWA after Crompton. I said नहीं, ICWA बनना चाहिए because नौकरी मतलब that time 2000 rupees salary में क्या करोगे आगे जाके, शादी कौन करेगा, गर्लफ्रेंड भी थी. तो I was sitting on that plane and sitting and doing something. My colleague Javed Sayyed came to me and said, Suresh, you're bored ना? तो हाँ यार. What do you want to do in life? I said, मेरे को सेल्स में जाना है. यहाँ बैठ के रोज लीज एडमिन किसने किया, इतना आना चाहिए, इसका आना चाहिए, बिल बनाओ वहाँ पे, घंटा लग गया. तो I know that because nobody takes a longer coffee break than you. So I said ठीक है, क्या करना है? तो I said I want to go into sales space selling. So he said he knew Imtiaz Merchant, the editor of Film and Video World those days. And he said try करते next building में, Nariman Point में. So I said okay. One day we went and met Imran Bhai. Imran Bhai sat and we spoke, and he said, son, unfortunately there's no vacancy in sales right now. But what do you do? So Javed said, अरे इमरान भाई ऑफिस में कोई आया चालू, उसका वॉइस मैनरिज्म्स बात करने और किसी को नहीं छोड़ता है करके, सबकी आवाज़ निकालता है. So he started laughing. He said, have you tried to be an actor? So I said, no, I never thought about it. Honestly, my parents wouldn't want me to be an actor. The only acting I have done is when Ganpati stage during Ganesh Chaturthi in Mumbai, we used to make a stage and perform in my 7 bungalows colony, Rajat Rekha. So he said, why don't you try? I said, no, I don't know anyone. I don't want to try and all. So he said, no, there is an opportunity in RK Studio. Somebody is making a film and they want raw newcomers. This was way back in 1991. And I said, wow. And hero का रोल है. Will you try for it? I said, sure. और अंदर से डरा, मैंने पिताजी से पूछा नहीं, श्योर बोल दिया, अभी क्या करूँ? No, that day डर गया थोड़ा. And then he calls up Major Ashok Kaul, who was producing the film, and spoke to him in RK, and we fixed a date, 21st October 1991. I'm supposed to go to RK Studio. And why I was happy 21st, because that evening in Chembur there was a marriage also. Building में किसी की शादी हो रही है, वो शादी भी वहीं पे था. तो मैंने सोचा चलो पैसे बचेंगे. एक बस में जाना है, उसी बस में वापस आना है. So I said yes. I went there to RK Studio, almost bumped into Rishi Saab, and my God, what a personality, handsome man. And he just looked at me, I think my mouth must open, and I said, sorry sir. He said, no problem. He patted me back. Then I didn't know, should I ask him? So I didn't ask him, where is Major Ashok Kaul sitting? So reception में पूछा, they told me Major Kaul वहाँ पे आप ही का wait कर रहा है. So I walked in, and this is thanks to Imran, Imran Merchant, who introduced me. So I go there, I'm dressed like a typical guy going to office. Plastic cover था हाथ में, जिसमें one shirt change for the evening marriage. Where I'll change, I do not have a clue. I took out my album, I gave it to him, photographs and all that stuff, and he sees that photograph, and today I know that he was trying hard not to laugh. My cousin had clicked it, so pura. So I said photograph, अजीब व गरीब. And then he said, beta, unfortunately ना ये इस role को आप, you don't fit this role. So I said, why sir? I learned and all that stuff. I've done acting in Ganpati stage. So he says, नहीं.
I've done acting. It's so cool.
Yeah. So he says कि you do not look like an army guy. You look as if you are from a very rich family. So next 15 minutes I had to tell him, sir, I came here by bus. I'm not that rich. Parents used to work in LIC. So he started laughing.
He was selling himself to him basically.
So he said, you don't understand. I'm trying to say that you're slightly, I didn't want to say it, but you're slightly on the plumber side. So you look like a well-fed guy, army men, you know how they are. So I said, oh, acha, understood. Thank you so much. जाते थे, he said, you must try comedy. But I thought कि लंबे बाल सोचते हैं हीरो बनूंगा, ऐसा थोड़ा मुझे बुरा भी लगा. लेकिन when I was walking out RK studio में, that lovely fragrance alcohol, not smell of the tarpaulin, the studio setup, you know how it was. I said, yeah, maybe I should try. This is not a bad place now, coming for work over here every day. So then I started thinking about it. 92, by the time I joined Times of India, then I said, ki I can't try in films and also work at the same time. Let me go all out. 93 Jan 1st, I stopped working. Before that, of course, I resigned 1 month before, and I said, I told my dad, if I don't get in films, I'll come back to sales or something. But I don't want to push pen anymore. I just want to get back to sales. He said, okay. And a lot of people told my dad that time, you know, Mr. Menon, why are you doing this? I use this in my stand-up nowadays. If you go in the film industry, he'll become a womanizer, he'll be an alcoholic, he'll become a drug addict. Thank God they were right. So, that's how I started my journey. And honestly, I did some wonderful shows, Ikke Pekka, Sajid Khan, the Great Indian Comedy Show, the Pandey Pillai Show on ETC channel, MTV के जितने shows मैंने किया, any day that we were shooting, sometimes 24 hours, 48 hours, but the joy of waking up in the morning and going for these shoots makes me so happy. Even today, if I had to go for a shoot, I'm the happiest person. You know, so I just love that feeling, and I'm grateful to God that, as I told you, I was going in the wrong direction, I was pushed into the correct direction.
Yeah, and very powerful point made here, and it made me think कि हमारे इरादे ये होते हैं कि हमको ये करना है, ये हमारा गोल है, लेकिन ऊपर वाले ने लिख लिया है कि यहाँ पर जाना है, this is your destination.
होगा ही, and you know at that time you'll feel also something within you. Like I felt in RK studio that time कि wow man, I should be here. And imagine a guy without any contacts in the film industry, coming from a very ordinary background, even to dream. As I told you, I used to dream a lot, you know, so that I just dreamt of becoming something. At that moment, maybe I dreamt, whatever I dreamt, it's not come true अभी तक. अभी और बहुत कुछ बाकी है.
Actually, this industry is very fickle. मतलब किसका luck खुल गया, भाग्य खुल गया. Who gets a movie, who gets a music video. We don't know anything. It's so fluctuating, so fickle.
It is. You know, but that's why you just go with the flow. So when I was in the peak of all my acting assignments, suddenly I got a chance with radio. Radio is another story which is really close to my heart. I just about went one Saturday and I auditioned for Red, and they liked what I did. So the CEO immediately said, get him on, sign him on. That was the thing. Next day I lost my mom, you know, who just passed in front of my eyes, and it's something that I don't think any child should ever go through, but it just happened. And then I was like devastated, and 20 days later I get a call from the station head, and she says, why don't you come, if you're okay to come here, and just come and chat, we want to sign up. So I said okay. So now see, again this is destiny. I reached there to sign up for doing interstitials. I had made Angry Ganeshan. That was the voice that they wanted to use, and I reached there to sign that document. Jose comes out of the recording studio and he was live, and she said, "This is Jose, our anchor." I said, "Yeah, I heard him. He sounds damn cool." And Red was English those days, and she said, "Why don't you both jam for some time?" I said, "On air?" I said, "Okay." And I was feeling so devastated from inside, but at that moment, I don't know, I felt so happy just doing something.
Yeah.
I went inside and we recorded. We were live for the next 2.5 hours because he had already finished a part of his show. When we came out, people were waiting outside the studio and they said, "Will you do this every Saturday?"
Wow.
And that's how radio started for me, because thanks to Jose. And after that, I had a premature boy. Just back to back tragedies. There are 3 months later, suddenly you are facing your father and there's a baby who's size of this, 680 grams in breech candy, and you're looking at the unrealism of this whole thing. Can such things happen together, But one day I was entering the NICU and I could hear my own voice on radio. It was the interstitial jo banaya tha. And the nurses were laughing and all sorts. So I just kept quiet. Then suddenly one nurse looked at me, "This is you, no?" I said, "Yes, it is me." "Your son is..." So I said, "Baapre." So that's what this line is for me. It has taken a lot of things from me, but it has given a lot of things also. So there's no regret. I'm glad to be here, and next life again I would want to be an actor.
Superb. It's like what it reminds me of is the show must go on, and this happens to a lot of artists, a lot of people in the entertainment industry, because I remember when I had a wedding event that I was hosting and I was going through a breakup, and my ex was there throughout for 3 days while we were breaking up. It was so hard.
It is. I can only
yeah,
imagine.
it was like I felt like there was a stone being pierced in my heart, and I'm all happy and hosting the show, and there I'm calling my girlfriend and I'm crying.
Yeah.
I remember there was one show. It was for Nikhil Nanda's company, and at 2:00 in the night, I realized my bone had shifted. And 6:00 morning, I was doing a show with Gulpanag. We were doing a yoga session, and I get up and I'm like, "Arey, I can't move my hand now. I don't know what to do." And it's literally 4 hours, right, for the show to start. So you can't even call the client and say, "Ki yaar, abhi main nahi kar rahi hu show." And Suresh, I remember, I usually you hold the mic like this. I'm holding the mic like this, and I can.
Shatru Saab. Oh!
So that's the beauty about this community. कि कुछ भी हो जाए, like what happened to your family member, you still went there and you performed, and yours is harder. You have to make people laugh.
This is your favorite film, Dil Toh Pagal Hai. I was shooting for that, and this is coming back to back thing happened in 2005, and I get a call in the evening. So from Dubai we shifted to Russell Khaimah for the whole climax, and Johnny Lever came to my room and said, "Anna, let's go and have Malbari khana." So we both went to a Malbari restaurant over there in Malayali restaurant in Russell Khaimah, and we ordered a food. We ordered a food, waiting for it, and we were talking. All of a sudden I get a call from my friend, and he says, "I just admitted your dad into the hospital. He's serious, and he has said that he's not going to make it, and he's told me to call you." So I didn't know what to do. Suddenly I was sitting there, tears just flowed out of my eyes. I couldn't stop it. There's no chance. So Johnny Bhai asked me what happened. So I told him kaise aisa hua karke, So he said, "Brother, I become a healer, na? मैं पहला जो था मैं वो नहीं हूँ. Film करता हूँ, लेकिन I'm a healer. And can I pray for your dad?" So I said, "Okay." So he took me behind one place and he prayed. So now the whole night I have not slept. Next day in the morning, 7:00 call time to be down to go for the climax. I didn't tell anyone. People were calling me up and asking me, "Are you okay?" There's nothing you could do. Dad was in NICU, so I was speaking to my brothers and all. So there's nothing you could do. And I was wondering what will happen. Climax, Akshay Kumar, Sunil Shetty, Paresh Rawal, Shahid Kapoor, the works, all of them over there. And what if I had to go back? It's a dilemma. What do you do? Do you go back? Do you don't go back? Because this is also loss, and I have taken the heroine and run. So there's no way they can avoid me in any of the shots. So I didn't know what to do. But I'll never forget what my dad did that day. So in the morning, everyone came to Johnny Bhai, told everyone. And remember, he has prayed also last night. So Firoz bhai asked me, so उनको हॉस्पिटल से शिफ्ट करें वहाँ और कहीं डाल दें, ब्रीच कैंडी में लेके जाएं? तो नहीं सर, वो डॉक्टर बहुत अच्छा है, उनका जान पहचान का कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। तो ऐसे जाने से पहले मैं एक फ़ोन करता हूँ, फिर चलेगा ना? तो नो टेक योर टाइम, आपकी गाड़ी अलग है वैसे भी। आई कॉल्ड अप माई ब्रदर एंड माई ब्रदर्स पिक्ड अप द फोन एंड ही सेड, सुरेश, you know that block which was there, it's not there. He's much better now. And then I said, acha theek hai, he's resting now, I'll call back later. I felt good. So he said, no, 1 second, dad wants to talk to you. So he gave the phone to dad, and dad in his feeble voice told me one thing. He said, Suresh, anything happens to me, you are not coming back. And this man is not in from the industry. He said, I don't want anyone to suffer losses because of me. You will complete your work and then only come back. Kuch bhi hua. Remember what I told you after mom passed. I told you once people go, they won't even know. So don't come back. Whatever you have to do, you do it later, son, but don't come back. I just was so amazed that, you know, he gathered so much of strength. He didn't know what I've been shooting. He didn't know what was happening over there. But that gave me so much of strength that if you see the climax and me, Asrani Saab jumping around, there are lots of shots which are not there. But that high level energy sequence it was, and the madness that happened, like everyone helped me out, all the actors, Anna, they were very sweet and they came up to you, patted you and they, are you okay? All those things were there. But what dad said that day, I never forgot. And in fact, in 2008, when he passed, the next day I had to go for a shoot. Producers came and said, sir, maybe we can postpone this. I said, no need. My dad's soul won't be happy. I am coming there, don't worry. I landed up at that shoot. So it is only that much that is there, you know, about death. That taught me a lot of things. I'm so sorry this is going in.
No, this is beautiful. Please share.
So, you know, death is something that we all get scared of, but it is something that is bound to happen. Today we are here, tomorrow we may not be there, but it doesn't matter. You know, as long as I told you that energies that you leave behind should be good. That's all. So, yeah, life is terrible and it never stops. It always comes up with such surprises that, you know, at that moment, how do you act? How do you perform? Yeah. Sometimes it's just a ordinary argument with somebody in the family. You know, you something has happened and you have to be in front of the stage. How many times can you do it? You know, but maybe what you're doing is your penance, what you're doing is your peace that you get, and that's why you have to keep on doing.
Absolutely. Very heartwarming, and thank you so much for sharing that. I also remember that there was this one argument that I had with my ex, and I was going to host an event for the president of Mauritius. I was scared that I'll forget the name of the president right on the mic. So yeah, you know.
I can imagine that's a.
As a host, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, and you have all these scenarios going on in your head. Like, what if I fall down on the president? What if, like, all these weird scenarios when you have these fights and.
See, if you fall down on him, he would be happy. If I fell down on him, he would have probably like, behead this fellow. Cut his head right now.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, but all of us go through such a lot of tension, and we are expected to be our best. We have to look our best, especially girls. I mean, women. They have so much more is expected. Every look of yours has to be different. You can't have red eyes. You know, you can't be crying when you're doing something. So much more and my goodness, I've seen that sort of life also. I just feel that everyone should be safe here or kuch nahi bas.
Yeah, you're blessed that way in terms of the friends you have, like be it Jose, Cyrus, Gaurav.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there were people in the industry that you didn't like and you didn't want to connect with them, but you still had to work with them. How did you manage disagreements in a professional setup?
Not many. There were a few people with whom I fought, but I was very fortunate. See, all my friends, most of the time I worked with only them. Sajid ke saath initial career, what fun we had, you know. So whatever stories happened, but for me as a friend, he's been there. When mom passed, he was there with me throughout. But I wouldn't have been able to go through that whole night if he weren't there, you know. That's the sort of friendship we have. With Jose, the same. The happiness, Vinay Pathak, Ranveer Shori, Gaurav Gera, Kiku Sharda, Purbi Joshi, we all very close knit, you know. So we do keep on meeting often, and we talk a lot about life and other things together. We share a lot, you know. So people whom I didn't like, there have been fights, of course, with the late Satish Kaushik, which is all over the internet. But today when I look at it, I think it was so frivolous, you know. But that man was an absolute wonder of a talent. You know, what a guy, what an actor, you know. And he gave me one of the biggest roles in my lifetime. So I would rather remember him for that. And Badayu Badai, where I played a Malayali Sardar. So, but never an issue. We have worked together after that also. So, industry, yes, friends, some of them are acquaintances, they never become your best friends. And the ones that will become your friends, they remain friends forever. So, there's a very close-knit group that I have. And sometimes we do party together, we don't see each other, but when we see each other, it's as if, you know, those days were never there in between, and we have lots of fun. So, I've been lucky. I worked with some of the best people, some of the stalwarts of the industry. Those who remain friends are my friends.
Is there anything that you would like to tell them?
I just want to tell everyone, you know, thank you for loving me. Thank you for giving me all the encouragement, and thank you. And I love you all, and I hope all of you are safe. Not because of Mahamari and COVID and all this, but generally life mein safe raho yaar. And if you all can spread happiness by doing chotu things. Don't be a joker. Just stop the car when somebody is crossing the road. That's it. Be good.
Be good, and thank you so much for being a part of this podcast. I am loving this. Please do share कि आपको कैसा लग रहा है, अच्छा लग रहा है, नहीं अच्छा लग रहा है, कौन से guest चाहिए, feedback देना है तो please दे दीजिए so that I could improve. And thank you for being a part of this journey. I absolutely love you all.